Welcome to the Carson City School District Board of Trustees meeting. It is Monday, November 17, 2025, and we are going to call our board meeting to order at 6 o'clock p.m. Agenda item number 1, adoption of the agenda as submitted, and this is for possible action.
Second.
Motion by trustee Walt and second by trustee Varner. Any board discussion? See none. Any public comment? See none. All those in favor? Motion carries. All right, agenda item number 2, flag salute. If you can please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And before we go on, Trustee Walker will be joining us by phone in a few minutes. All right, agenda item number 3, Superintendent's report, and this is for information only. Superintendent Feeling.
Thank you, President Ramirez. We're going to have a little delay in recognizing our cross-country team as we are awaiting one more to show and fully celebrate. Before I get into my announcements, Madam President, if you're okay, I'd like to have the Carson High students and Silver Campus students report on their events for the evening.
Of course.
Okay. So if Carson High and Silver Campus representatives, if you could come up and give your reports first, please.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Cooper Fueling, the Carson High School main campus student body school board representative. I just have a few things tonight, mainly sports. So all of the fall sports seasons are over for the high school. We had some very high placements. Unfortunately, no state wins, but some very, very close. Girls volleyball, they made it to the state championship down in Vegas, or state tournament down in Vegas. They unfortunately lost to Bishop Gorman, so they were like third, fourth place. I mean, that's a hard game to win, though, competing against private schools, so they did very well. And then also boys and girls cross country. Girls cross country will obviously have their own thing, but they both made it to state and did very well there. Football, we played Reno High in the regional semifinal 2 Fridays ago, and unfortunately did not come away with the win. But it was still a pretty successful season considering completely new coaching staff and everything. So that was pretty well as we had a lot of players make all-region players, and then as well as our head coach was named for a Coach of the Year. And then winter sports have now officially started as of this past weekend. So boys and girls basketball, boys and girls wrestling, and skiing. And then on Veterans Day last Tuesday, Carson High Safe Grad, which is they host a party on the night of graduation in the for the upcoming year to ensure that graduating seniors have a safe and fun time after their graduation. They hosted a 5K last weekend, and that was very successful, and they had a great turnout on that. That's all I got.
Is there a representative from Silver Campus here? Maybe they'll come at 6:30.
Possibly.
Okay.
Okay.
We can try to accommodate that. All right.
Thank you, Cooper.
Thank you, Mr. Fueling. So next, if I have this correct, if we are okay to move the essay portion up in the agenda.
Yes. So we're going to go ahead and skip on the board reports, and we're going to move on to agenda item number 7. We'll come back to the board reports after we do the essay contest.
President Ramirez, I forgot just for my portion of my report. I just wanted to give a reminder, because nobody needs it, but Thanksgiving is coming. And I want to give a big thanks to Mark Twain Elementary School. Principal Crookshanks hosted all of the principals from every school and all the district level administrative staff at her site a couple weeks back. And we went around, went into classrooms, just did observations just to see everything going on over at Mark Twain, and just had resounding feedback from all the principals and staff of just how impressed with everything they were that we saw over there. And so just a big thank you to Mrs. Crookshanks and all the staff for hosting us over in that building.
Definitely. Congratulations. Absolutely.
Okay.
So again, we're going to continue with agenda, we're going to move on to agenda item number 7, and then we will come back to number 4 for board reports.
All right. Item number 7, we have the winners of the Great American Essay Contest. I'm going to ruin the surprise for you, trustees, but pretty much everyone who's here in the audience is here for one of two reasons: essays and cross country. They're not here for anything else. As exciting as these meetings are. And just a little history. So this essay contest started back in 2000, I think it was 2002, to recognize, it was a recognition the year after 9/11, and the Board of Trustees at that time wanted to put something together to give an opportunity for students of Carson City. And I think that's one of the really unique things about this, is it is not limited to students of the Carson City School District. It is any student in Carson City. But have an essay contest with varying topics each year. But this has been going on since that time, so effectively in our 23rd year of having this contest. We had 152 total entries into the contest. The topic this year, as a reminder, the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence calls on us to celebrate our patriotic symbols while renewing our commitment to freedom, equality, and justice for all. What patriotic symbols of freedom, culturally or historically, are most important to you, and why? And so the judging of the essays was considered on 3 points: the adherence to the topic itself, originality of thought, and using the traits of writing, ideas, organization, voice, word choice, sentence fluency, and conventions. We had 6 judges, and I cannot remember at this moment if it's okay to name them or not, so I'm just going to say thank you. Okay, I can name them? Okay. Lacey Carey, Rhonda Wallace, Pam Copperthwaite, Ananda Campbell, Greg Spriggs, and Laura Ricks. Thank you to all of you for going through 152 essays.
It's a lot of work. Thank you.
It's a lot of work. And so we have our first, second, and third place winners here this evening. 3 from each, from elementary level, middle school level, and high school level. Our third place will be receiving $30. Second place will be receiving $50. And first place will be receiving $100 for winning the competition. And so with that, as I call your name, students wherever you are, if you could please come up here so I can embarrass you a little bit. And once we are all done, everyone, if you could stay, and then we are going to get a picture up front because we want to make you famous, okay? Mr. Davis? Do you want it as it happens, like once we announce all elementary? Okay, so as you get the 3 elementary up here, if you guys could stay up here, then we're going to do a picture, but then don't leave because then we're going to do a larger group picture. Is there anything else I can do for you, Mr. Davis? Is that good enough? Okay. Okay. First, in third place, from Fritch Elementary School, we have Kaya Goodwater. Actually, if you just want to come stand right over here. In second place from Fritch Elementary School, we have Clara Papez. And in first place, and I hope she brought a copy of her essay to read to all of us, Maddie Mai. You have your essay? Congratulations. You have your essay? I brought it for you. I was giving you a hard time. Well, here first, actually, I'll just hold on to this, but everyone would love to hear you read your essay. Do you feel like there's a lot of pressure on you right now to read that out loud? No one's gonna judge. So you took first place. You're the champ. Okay?
The Statue of Liberty. A famous quote said by Aaron Lars. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. The wretched diffuse of your teeming shore. Send these homeless tempests to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. The Statue of Liberty is an important symbol of hope and freedom because it means a new life. It shows the friendship between France and the United States. It also welcomes the immigrants who move there. The Statue of Liberty is an important symbol to me because it welcomed me to New York when we went there on our trip. I was only 8 years old. I was in the 3rd grade when we went to New York. One of my favorite parts was going to the Statue of Liberty, then going to Ellis Island. We climbed the Statue of Liberty with my grandma. We got to the face, and we got to see all of New York up there. The Statue of Liberty is an important symbol to the country because it is a powerful symbol of democracy and opportunity, representing the powerful friendship between France and the United States of America. The Statue of Liberty was a gift from France to represent the alliance between the United States of America and France during the American Revolution. The Statue of Liberty is important to immigrants because it is a symbol of a new life. It also symbolizes hope and freedom. When the immigrants arrive to the Statue of Liberty, it is often the first thing they see when arriving there. It can be a very emotional thing to be standing by the Statue of Liberty when arriving in a whole new world. In conclusion, the Statue of Liberty is a very important thing to many people around the world. It is important to the immigrants who move there because it shows them that they will have a new beginning in New York. It is important to the country because it was a gift that shows the friendship between France and the United States. It is important to me because it was there to say welcome to New York on my trip.
Okay, moving on to our middle schoolers. And in 3rd place from Bethlehem Lutheran, we have Arabella Mendoza. In second place from St. T's, St. Teresa, we have Savannah Jones. And in first place from St. Teresa's, we have Colette Flynn. Do you have a copy of yours? I have one. Congratulations. All right, we'll have you read this first. And then, good? You ready to read? Are you nervous? You sure? All right. Excellent job here. You're gonna do great. Just make sure you kind of speak a little loudly so it projects, okay?
Beyond the stripes. For a lot of people, the American flag is more than just fabric and colors. It is a reminder of the sacrifices and what people fought for. My favorite symbols are the American flag, the bald eagle, and our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. When we see all these symbols everywhere, have we stopped to see why these images, like the bald eagle, Statue of Liberty, or Mount Rushmore, hold a lot of power? The American flag is more than just fabric and colors. I observed the flag and attempted to figure out what the colors mean. The red acknowledges our courage and the sacrifices and how we are ready to make those sacrifices. It could also be the blood of those who fought to protect us and so that we could have freedom. The blue was harder to figure out, but I think it means equality and fairness for everyone. It is a reminder that we must always stay watchful, observant, powerful, and strong. Finally, white. It stands for innocence and especially purity. I chose purity because we are an independent country and we must not break our promises. We all know that the 13 stripe represent the 13 colonies, and of course the 50 stars as the 50 states, but not everyone realizes how these symbols changed over time, and it shows how America is changing. This evolution shows that America's symbols aren't just decorations, they're reflections on the country's growth and its story. As new states joined the country, the flag grew to be different, and became something that shows our history as Americans. As someone to have never been outside America, and with 4 siblings, I know how important it is to have freedom and equality, both of which the United States of America can provide. The bald eagle, the national bird of the United States, represents freedom, strength, and courage. It is an apex predator with a wingspan of up to 6 feet and a mostly solitary lifestyle. It is a great symbol of independence. Its strength is clear in its powerful claws. I've seen one in person before, and they are huge. The bald eagle isn't just impressive in the way it looks. It shows purpose. Its sharp eyesight makes it able to see prey from far away, which can also be seen as a symbol of awareness. These are things that are important for leadership and protection. I know that the U.S. does have leadership and protection. The bald eagle doesn't just hunt in groups, it flies alone. That is part of why it was chosen to be our national bird. Not just about power, it's about staying alert and being ready to defend what matters. In our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner, my favorite part is whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. That line from the Star-Spangled Banner shows how the flag became a symbol of our ability to come back. Even during a dangerous battle, it was still waving in the wind. That part of the anthem shows how the flag stayed up during the tough battle. Even when things were dangerous, it didn't fall. To me, that means that the country didn't give up. The flag became a sign that people were still fighting. I think that's really cool. Just like the bald eagle stands for strength and freedom, the flag in that moment stood for courage and pride. It is a reminder that even in hard times, the nation held on. As you can probably imagine, the symbols are important. It's not just who we are, it's what we stand for and the courage we've shown. So yes, the symbols are connected to America's history, and of course they're important. They are especially important because they show what the U.S. stands for. So in conclusion, the flag represents the country's growth and evolution. The bald eagle represents independence, strength, and courage, and the Star-Spangled Banner represents resilience and power, courage, and pride.
Outstanding. Congratulations.
And if I could have you go stand up here by so get a picture. All right. Okay, now moving on to our high school winners. First, we have all from Carson High, all 11th graders, Michaela Hyder. In second place, where is he? Roman Gonzalez. I saw Roman actually drop this off, and I gave him a hard time. I was like, this better be good. Don't disappoint me. And he came through. And finally, in first place, we have Claire Dillon. Well, what is your preference to read off, hard copy or digital copy? I think that's a good choice. Yeah. I like that. And then let me adjust the mic over here. That's good.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe. All right. The 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence feels like one big birthday party for America. Instead of cake, we've got fireworks, and instead of singing happy birthday, we've got debates. But underneath all that noise, it's really about celebrating the symbols that remind us who we are and what we stand for. For me, the most meaningful symbol is the American flag. It's more than something we see at parades or on front porches. It's a reminder that freedom isn't free. The flag's stars and stripes tell a story of unity through struggle, and it gives me a sense of pride every time I see it waving, especially at moments when America actually agrees on something. We have to remember that the American flag has changed 27 times since it was first adopted in 1777. It originally started with 13 stars and now has 50. If that's not impressive, I'm not sure what is. The smallest achievement can turn into something so incredible. But it's not just the iconic flag, but our country's anthem. Not just a song, but a reminder that we shine brightest through struggle. Francis Scott Key wrote the Star-Spangled Banner while watching the flag survive a British attack in 1814, a symbol of this resilience even in chaos. So although the US flag has basically had more makeovers than a reality show contestant with its 27 redesigns, these are the changes in our country that inspire and make it all great. Then there's the Liberty Bell, the cracked, confident icon of freedom. It was cast in 1752 and cracked the very first time it was rung, almost like an expensive vase you promised you'd be careful with. I love it because it's proof that you don't have to be perfect to stand for something important. The bell's flaws make it even more powerful. It's kind of like America's version of I may not be flawless, but I still show up. The Liberty Bell's been cracked for centuries, but it still gets over 1 million visitors a year, proof that you can be broken and still iconic. And finally, the Declaration of Independence itself, signed on July 4th, 1776 by 56 delegates. I find it humorous that only about 1/4 of Americans can name all 3 branches of government, but nearly 80% of people know the Declaration's first line. We hold these truths to be self-evident. Imagine signing a document that basically says, hey, King George, we're out, knowing you could be in serious trouble. That takes guts. It's a symbol of courage, rebellion, and believing in something bigger than yourself, something I think we all try to channel in our own way, just hopefully with less risk of starting a war. Jefferson was 33 years old when he wrote the Declaration of Independence. I just hope I'll be paying for my own gas at 33 years old. As we hit this 250th year, these symbols remind me that being patriotic isn't about pretending America's perfect. It's about living it enough to want to make it better, and maybe remembering to bring fireworks to the party.
Do we go in the picture or no? Yeah? Yes, thank you very much for your work. It sounds like you put a lot of effort into writing an exceptional essay, so thank you for taking this assignment very serious. They're here? Okay, okay. All right, so we're gonna go back to agenda item number 3, actually. That would be part of your report, correct? Okay.
Thank you, President Ramirez. All of our special guests are here now from our very successful girls cross-country team from Carson High School. Do I have all our coaches here? Feel free to celebrate.
There we go. Members of the board, for the record, John Hager. I'm the assistant coach for cross country. I've been here a few years in a row now, mostly for these girls, but I wanted to introduce our head coach, Munyon, and our assistant coach, Tara Thielen. Coach?
So I'm newly hired head coach Russ Munyon, and I would just like to really thank both John and Tara. It's amazing what they've done with our group, because I know that Tara had a integral experience bringing them up through junior high, as did John, and then John with the last 4 years with all of these girls, the seniors especially. So I keep congratulating them, because it's truly a team effort between the three of us that got this team here, and it's their efforts that got them here as well. So I'm very happy to announce that we took second at state. We took first in regionals. So we had 3, there we go. We had
Nice.
We had 3 second team members with Maddie, Hannah, and Vea, and 1 first team member with Sammy at the regionals. And then we had our successful run at state with a second place. We did displace their southern first place team, so in a way we did win. We took out who we thought we were supposed to take out. We just didn't see somebody else lurking right behind us who beat us. And so next year we'll make sure to watch out for Faith Lutheran. As the athletic director, as Raymer said, we are then the public school first place, right? Because it was Faith Lutheran. So again, so thank you, Mr. Raymer, for that little pithy response. Made me feel a little better. And I look forward to many years of first and second places at state. So, ladies.
So if we can bring forward Brianna. Come on up, Brianna. Vea, Madison, Hannah. These are our 4 seniors that have been on this team, a very successful team for the last 4 years.
You've seen them before.
Anna, come on up. She was also part of the state winning team 2 years ago. Gracie, her sister, Zoe, Rylan, and Sammy is now our fastest runner on the team. I think, did you get 6th in state? Sixth place state? Yep. So, yeah, there you are.
That's incredible. Congratulations. Woo!
You want to do this? Pictures?
Yeah.
Right, trustees, are you ready? Right here, 1, 2, 3, and.
Hope to see you next year.
Yes, congratulations. Keep running.
AJ, are we gonna get Mike on the phone?
I don't see why not. Yeah.
No.
So we're. We can go ahead and shut the door. Can we shut the door? Maybe not. Okay, I think we are ready to continue.
Is there a Silver Campus representative here?
She may have left.
Yeah, maybe.
I will include some of the reports that
Do you want me to
we have
forward
from
you the
the
report?
principal, from the vice principal.
Oh, you have, okay.
Are we good? Superintendent? On the board reports? Okay. So then we are done with your report. So we are now on agenda item number 4, and we're going to continue with the Nevada Association of School Board NASB update. Oh, she did. Okay, you did say. Are you ready to give us your report for Silver Campus? Yes? Okay, come on up. Always happy to see you. Come on up.
So, good afternoon, members of the board, and those here not. My name is Maggie, and I'll be sharing Silver Campus's announcements this evening. Starting with Carson High School speech and debate team competed at the Reed High School on the 14th and 15th. The team did very well, but I apologize I do not have the results as of today. We had a Day of the Dead celebration in Silver Commons on November 3rd. There was a very large turnout, and we were very happy to celebrate everyone's loved ones. Teacher Christian Steinkraus tasked her engineering class with making Pine Derby cars to compete at the Pine Derby race hosted by CHS. Teacher Tara Thieland is building a small interactive garden with her girls' PE class. They have all sorts of flowers and greenery that will add to the school's beauty. That concludes the Silver Campus's announcements this evening. Thank you. This is Maggie signing off.
Maggie, thank you so much. Okay, now we can continue with Nevada Association of School Boards for NASB updates. Trustee Werner?
Yeah, I don't really have much of an update. I had, or asked Renee to send out some attachments to you guys on the reports from Clark and Associates. If you get a chance to read through that, kind of give some updates on some of the things happening in the legislature and some other things going on. And that's really all I have. We're still in the process of preparing for the upcoming conference that's in December. So I hope everybody can attend that conference.
Great, thank you. Okay, then we will continue with the board announcements. Michelle?
I don't have anything to add to what Cooper and Maggie have reported for high school, but I do have one mention for Mark Twain. They wanted to make sure that all of us on the board and the community got an invitation. They have their Lotteria night coming up on December 4th, 5:30 to 7, and they would love to have everybody there to make it a great evening. They say it's going to be a fun Mexican bingo night with food trucks, prizes, and an awesome MC. So again, that's on December 4th, 5:30 to 7 at Mark Twain Lotteria. That's all I got.
Excellent, thank you. Rebecca?
Nothing specific for Fremont. Dr. Ward just wanted to let her staff know how grateful she is for them and how much they go above and beyond teaching, reading, writing, and arithmetic. And she really appreciates that.
Perfect. Thank you. Richard?
Yes, excuse me, for Fritch, they will be having their annual turkey trot on Wednesday, November 19th. All students in kindergarten through 5th grade will participate to win a turkey for first place, a pie for second place, and a jug of cider for third place. They would like to thank their PTA for providing the prizes. And then Principal Brown says that since this is a season to be thankful, he wants to thank their staff at Fritch for being awesome and doing their best to make sure each one of their students has the best day ever. And he also wanted to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Wonderful.
Then I have a report for Boardrook
Okay.
also.
Of course.
They're going to be having their second annual multicultural night happening on Wednesday. It's two nights from now. Please join them at 5:30 to watch dancers, and then there will be a lot of fun activities from 6 to 7. They will also have food trucks available for people who would like to purchase some food. And the event is sponsored by the House of Amistad. And that's my report.
Great, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Matt?
Thank you. From Ms. Hoppy at Eagle Valley. She said she would like to highlight some of the recent successes at EVMS. First, the VIP lunch, very important persons and people lunch, was a huge success. We love seeing so many parents and guardians join their students for lunch, and we sincerely appreciate everyone who was able to attend. A special thank you goes out to School Resource Officer Laura Eisinger for her support, and to the Carson City Fire Department for sending members of their firefighting and rescue team to mingle with the students. Their presence made the event even more memorable for the kids. Lego Robotics Tournament was Saturday, November 15th. EVMS is proudly hosted the Lego Robotics Tournament, and our students shined under the leadership of teachers Kim Tucker and Becky Ritter. Both EVMS teams performed very well. The Metallic Eagles placed 7th, and the Electric Eagles placed 11th. This competition included 27 teams from across the state, making these achievements truly outstanding, and it was a fantastic turnout and a fun-filled day for all involved. A huge thank you to the community partners, Redemption Church, for their ongoing generosity and care for EVMS families. They had already provided approximately 100 dinner bags for families in need and are planning to supply Thanksgiving meals for 30 additional families, and EVMS is incredibly grateful for their support. And lastly, she wants to mention they're very grateful for the amazing EVMS staff and all their hard work. We hope everyone enjoys a relaxing and rejuvenating Thanksgiving break, because we have a jam-packed December right around the corner. And Miss Robinson, if I can get out of my phone here. Miss Robinson is reporting. They had a great turnout at their Fall Family Festival and our Veterans Day program. It was wonderful to have so many people on campus to honor the veterans and the many cultures that make our school community so strong. We are looking forward to Thanksgiving, and we hope everyone has a wonderful time celebrating family and friends.
Wonderful, thank you. Molly?
Yes, for Empire Elementary School, their 5th grade leadership is presenting a turkey bingo night Thursday, November 20th. from 5:30 to 7 o'clock. Bingo cards are only $2 each. You can play as many rounds as you want. Prizes include gift cards from Olive Garden, San Marcos Grill, Dutch Bros, Slime Kitchen, Juan's Mexican Grill, Fly High, Discovery Museum, and complete turkey dinners are a part of those and many more. So I encourage all of those who can to please attend Thursday, November 20th from 5:30 to 7. And then I would also like to thank Nevada Appeal, and if you can give him the message. I think it's really important when they do reports of the college students. Only 2% of college students go on and play at college sports. And so he does it, I think, quarterly or whatever. He gives a little update on what those college students have done. And he did it this Saturday. And it's nice to see. And I hope that it encourages, especially those athletes that were here this evening, to go and try, to get those college scholarships. So if you could, please let him know that I appreciate it. And we've been traveling a lot, but I am going to give some accolades. So my daughter's team at College of Idaho won their league. And so then they went and played for the Cascade Conference Championship, and they won. They were fourth in the nation. So being fourth in the nation, they get to host round 1 and round 2 of nationals. And so that is this Saturday. They got a bye on Thursday. They play Saturday for round 2. And then if they win, they will go on to play in Florida for nationals in the Sweet 16. Last year, they went on and played in Florida and were fourth. And so that was quite exciting. This is the third year in a row that they are league champions and conference champions. What was exciting during this tournament as well is as my daughter was playing on one field, on another field, there was little Addie Morgan playing as well from Carson High School. And then later that evening, EOU was playing as well at Eastern Oregon, which is where my son plays. So it was just really, knowing that, kids from Carson High are really, that there's the opportunity. So I would hope that all of those athletes that want to play at the next level, that they at least try. They get that information out and try, because it is possible. So it was exciting, and we're still doing some soccer. So, but thank
Fourth
you.
in the nation. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's incredible. Well, good for them. Awesome. So for me, I am going to share with you guys a nice note that we got from the owner of the Carson Farmers Market. She is very appreciated of the recent change of the graduation schedule. She says that she was so happy to hear that the parents voted for a new date and time. And she said it's great news, not just for us, but for many local businesses and community events. So that's from Brianna Owens. And I appreciate her letting us know how she feels, and I wanted to share that with you all. Also, from Carson High School Silver Campus, as Maggie mentioned, they had a very successful Dia de los Muertos event. Dr. Molden reminded us that she's working really hard in bringing more families to the campus. And definitely, again, the Dia de los Muertos was a very good example of the success that they're having thus far. And then they're also inviting parents and grandparents to come in and enjoy their a luncheon with their children at the school. Again, they're just trying to continue encouraging these type of visits to showcase the campus to the families, and also welcoming them to the nice hospitality that they have. So it's very, very exciting stuff that is happening at the Silver Campus. And then they also have another event coming up on the 8th, December 8th. They will be hosting their first Beauty and Barbering Night. Families will learn about what it takes to run a beauty business, and that will be at 5 p.m. on the 1st of this, on the 8th of December. So just a lot of fun stuff happening at their campus. And then I also attended the Dia de los Muertos Kermés at Carson High School. It was a huge turnout. I believe this was like the biggest Dia de los Muertos event that they've had at Carson High School. And what I observed was that it was a collaboration. It was definitely a collaboration from everyone on campus. The students from the Latino Club were the ones that put this event together, but I saw the advisors, the administrators, in fact, Rodney Wade, Mr. Wade, who is here present, was there too. Leticia Servinen, the parents were all helping out. It was just a huge collaboration from everyone that made this event very successful. They also had live band, and those students were actually students from Carson High that were playing Latino music. So they were very proud of their music, of their roots, and they sounded professional to me. They're doing really, really good in feeling good about who they are, where they come from, but also representing their school. So I thought it was a very, very cool event. Very successful. Kudos to everyone who coordinated that event. And also I attended or I should say thank you to Candy Robles. She invited me to greet the Chamber of Commerce leadership class, and about half of those students in the leadership class were alumni Carson High School students. So I thought it was really nice that they're coming back and learning what the high school is doing, to empower our students and just to have them recognize that, we're doing good things for our community, and they're also coming to join those efforts. Carson Middle School was another school that really put a huge event together, and it was a multicultural night. They had an amazing, amazing turnout. The whole gym was packed. They brought folkloric dancers and native dancers and all kind of performers, and the families were just so excited, and you could see that it was just a fun evening that a diverse group from the community were enjoying, and just being able to share their food and their music and everything, just coming together. It was just a beautiful way to celebrate our cultures that we have in our district. I also was invited to attend the school veterans tribute concert at Carson Middle School. That was another family event that also packed that place at Carson Middle School. It was exciting. Thank you so much, Superintendent Fielding, for inviting me. I had never been to that concert, and I was just very, very pleased of the talented students that we have in our district. So I believe that concludes my reports. Okay. And moving on to agenda item number 5, association reports. Do we have, and this is for discussion only, do we have anyone from the association? Don't see anyone. Okay. Agenda item number 6, public comment. Do we have in-person public comment? Don't see anyone. Do we have online public comment, Renee? No public comment, so I will close public comment. And we've already taken care of agenda item number 7, so agenda item number 8, discussion and possible action to interview and possibly approve the selection of a CCSD Family Life Advisory Committee member from both an open application process and a request for renewal to serve a 3-year term, January 2026 through December 2028, in the following category. 1, religious representative, and this is for possible action. Welcome Mr. Brandon Brinhurst and Sheila Story.
Good evening. For the record, my name is Sheila Story. I'm the chief nurse for the school district and the chair for the Family Life Advisory Committee. Thank you for having us this evening. What I like to do is I like to introduce a candidate we have for our religious committee member position. Her name is Megan Bottom. She was on the committee for the past 3 years, and she has brought a lot of knowledge, experience, and understanding with the work she does as a pastor at the church, the Northern Nevada Dream Center. She also works for Gentiva Hospice and helps people with the end-of-life process. And also, she's an author of The Broken to Blessed. So she's very well accomplished, and she brings a lot to our committee. So I'd like to introduce to you Megan Bottom.
Thank you guys for your time. That makes me sound very professional. I appreciate your guys' time and effort in this committee. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Megan. So I don't think that this is much of an interview, but I think we could ask any questions that we may have for her. Does the board have any questions?
Sure. You've been on it for the last few years, it sounds like. What have been some highlights for you with that experience?
It's really interesting the way that the curriculum is presented. Sheila does a great job at presenting the curriculum and collecting it and then presenting it to us as the board. And it's just fascinating that how much resources are out there, and it's scary, really, and having to pick from the best and knowing like what really they're looking for, the teachers are looking for to teach, and dialing down into that has been the most fascinating because, you do a Google search, for example, on preventing pregnancy, and you get a million resources, and dialing down to what would be the best way to communicate this to each different age group has just been really interesting to me.
Richard?
I really don't have a question, but what I'd like to say is thank you for the last 3 years of your service, and thank you for volunteering for another 3 years. We really do appreciate it. Thank you. And I think, I understand you've been a valuable asset to the committee, so thank you for wanting to do another 3 years.
Thank you for the pleasure. It's a great way to serve.
I do have a question. What is your goal for this coming year for the committee?
For the committee, so just from what's been communicated from the committee, we really don't have a big chunk. In my first year, we were going through a lot of curriculum in the first couple meetings. We were meeting every month, and it was a lot in that first year. And now we're getting questions that are dwindling in on, can we teach this a little bit better, or can we? So it's not as heavy as it was my first year that I was in. And so we're only meeting, I think, 4 times total this year. And the goal would just be to really support the committee in coming behind the work that we've already done and pushing that forward with more curriculum and more resources for the teachers.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And like Richard said, thank you for your commitment and for your time that you're putting into this
Thank you for the
committee.
opportunity.
Okay, well, if we don't have any other questions or comments, I will entertain a motion.
I'll go ahead and make the motion.
Okay.
I move that the Carson City School Board of Trustees approve Megan Bottom as a religious representative to serve on the Family Life Advisory Committee for a 3-year term, January 2026 to December 2028. Thank you.
I'll second.
Okay, so motion by trustee Varner and second by trustee Roberts. Any board discussion? Seeing none, any public comment? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you guys for the opportunity.
Thank you. And real quick, I'd like to say that any of the board members are always welcome to our meetings. I can go ahead and set out the schedule, time, and location. And we'd love to have you sit in and observe and see how we conduct business and get things approved for our Family Life Advisory Committee.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Okay, agenda item number 9, informational update on the preliminary 2025 cohort graduation rates for the Carson City School District, and this is for discussion only. Welcome, Dr. Ricky Medina and Mr. Brandon Brinkhurst.
Yeah. Good evening, Board of Trustees. Ricky Medina for the record, and thank you for allowing me to come and present tonight. So tonight I'm talking about the class of 2025. So this is the kiddos that graduated just this previous semester. And this is the 4-year graduation rate. And I point that out because, if you look at Nevada report card, the accountability data is always reported like currently, except for the cohort graduation rate. The cohort graduation rate is always reported a year behind. So these numbers that I present tonight, that's what will be used for Carson High's star rating that they get in June. So start off by going back to our strategic plan. So if you look at the beliefs and values that we laid out in our plan, one of those core values is that every student must have the opportunity to excel and be prepared for success in post-secondary education or a chosen career. The adjusted cohort graduation rate allows us to kind of measure and document that we're fulfilling this promise to our students. The way that the cohort graduation rate, if you're not familiar with it, the way that it's calculated is any kid that enrolled as a ninth grader during the 2021-2022 school year, if that was the first time that they ever took a class at the high school level in a high school, their cohort of class of 2025 was assigned to them. And once you're assigned a cohort, you can never change your cohort. So even if the kid was just there for one day and then they went back to third grade for some reason, they're the class of 2025. And so the way that it works is that if a kid came in like to Carson High during their 10th grade year, if they were part of that 2025 cohort, class of 2025, they become part of Carson High's cohort. And basically, the way that the rate's calculated is it's every kid that graduates with a standard diploma. And standard diplomas include the standard diploma, the advanced diploma, the college and the career readiness diploma. It used to include the adult diploma, but the Fed said that you couldn't count that one. Even though it's in the Nevada revised statutes, it's considered a standard diploma, the adult diploma gets removed. And it's divided by every kid that's in the cohort. Kids could leave the cohort if they transfer to another diploma granting institution. So if they go to another school, they exit from out of the cohort. But only if that's a school that offers regular diplomas. That has to be like the primary purpose of the school. So if they're going somewhere to just take the high school equivalency exam, they would be considered a non-graduate.
Ricky, if I could, what if they transfer to just homeschooling?
Yeah, if they transfer to homeschooling, homeschooling is considered a regular school, so they would be considered a transfer out. So this is what the 10-year trend looks like. We don't have data for Nevada, Clark, or Washoe yet, because this data hasn't been released at the state level. We just finished at the state calculating these numbers like a week and a half ago. And the reason why is because the class of 2025, they have until October 1st. That's like the cutoff of us figuring out where they ended up. Sometimes kids graduate over the summer, they go to summer school. Sometimes we find out that a kid transferred somewhere else, but they forget to tell us before the end of the school year. So our number, we're at 83.3. The year before that, we were at 83.1. And I anticipate that the state number will be somewhere around 81.5. So a big change this year, Pioneer High School, because we're no longer a high school last year. We no longer report data out for Pioneer High School. We also, back in 2022, quit reporting data for adult education students. So if you look at the district number and the CHS number, those two numbers are different. And the reason why is because if a student is at Carson High School and they transfer to adult ed, for Carson High School, they're considered a transfer out. For the district, they end up and that they're considered a transfer out also if they graduate with an adult diploma. For the district, those kids would be considered non-graduates. And so the district number is lower than Carson High's number because it includes adult ed students. And it also includes, there were about 4 students at Pioneer that were non-graduates that left in like their 10th grade year that ended up being counted towards the district. So overall, the numbers for the district, we had 464 graduates, we had 93 non-graduates, and we also had 59 students that earned adult diplomas. And so these 59 students are considered transfer outs as far as the graduation rate is concerned. How this compares to previous years. So the class of 2025, first off, it's a slightly smaller class due to declining enrollment. So there were about 20 less kids. We had more college and career ready diplomas that were issued. We had a few less advanced diplomas. In the college and career ready diploma and the advanced diploma, the credit requirements are really the same. The difference is that in order to get the college and career ready diploma, there's additional requirements that you have to meet. So you could either do things like earn a certain score on the ACT, you can take CTE courses, you have to pass Algebra 2. There's different requirements, so it's considered the more rigorous diploma.
Can I ask a question? Does that include the students from Jumpstart?
Yes, this includes everybody that was a 9th grader during 2021, 2022. Do folks have questions?
Any other questions? Molly?
So do the adult diplomas help us at all? The number of adult diplomas help us?
No, so if you went back to 2021, that was like the last year where adult diplomas were considered, if you earned an adult diploma at the high school, you were a graduate. After that, they switched to counting those students as transferred out. So at the Carson High level, they neither help nor hurt you in terms of your graduation rate. At the district level, if those students graduate, they're considered transfer outs, so you don't get any credit for them. If they don't graduate, then they're considered non-graduates. So they can hurt you at the district level. At the Carson High level, they neither help nor hurt.
So why have it? Do you know, I mean, if it's not helping us, I just don't. If they're transferred out, why are we sponsoring the program?
Yeah, and I would say that that's a goal of the high school, is to reduce the number of students that are earning adult diplomas. Like the number's been consistent for the last couple of years. That's a number that we want to decrease. There's some, even though it's considered a standard diploma, I'd say that there are some things that are available for the adult diploma that make it a little bit easier to earn. Like you could get credits waived if you get certain scores on the high school, on the high set test. And there's a few less credits, but they're kind of minor. It's like you don't have to have the 2 PE credits. You have to have other credits instead. So it's not something that's promoted, but when kids get really close to the end and they want to be able to graduate with their cohort, it's an option that's currently used, but it's something we definitely want to reduce.
Wouldn't there be a separate like program if they're not attending Carson High School, let's call it the A campus, wouldn't we be able to call it something like the B campus and be able to adjust the program, not call it adult education, adjust the program to fit the needs of those students So then those 59 diplomas would be able to help us. I mean, I don't know that any other district is doing it. I'm just trying to think outside the box because, you know, those 59, that's great. It's wonderful, and we should be able to utilize and hopefully have those numbers help us. I know no one's following me right now, but in my head it's there. It looks perfect. You know, just kind of like you have an A team and a B team.
And there are currently, there's two different ways that you could earn the adult diploma. You could physically go to the adult education campus and earn the diploma there. Or Carson High School has an alternative education plan that allows them to grant adult diplomas on campus, on site, so kids don't have to leave and go to adult ed. Neither of those options help you because they're both considered transfer outs. But by doing it at the school level, you're at least able to keep those kids on campus. They're able to graduate from Carson High School. It says Carson High School on their adult diploma when they go out and apply for jobs. And so there's some strengths to having it at the Carson High School campus, but there's not any way that you could use it to help with the graduation rate. The numbers would come out the same.
Because when you talk campus, isn't adult education on Carson High Silver campus? So it's still on campus, right?
No, in the past, it's been, if you went back like 15 years, it was only available at the Silver campus. That was the only place that, and districts were only allowed to have like one school that had an adult program. I want to say about 5 years back, it switched to where we applied for both campuses to be able to give adult diplomas. So it was available at both Carson High and the Silver campus.
Do we know the reason why they go for the adult diploma?
Yeah, it's usually because they get to their senior year and they're missing a few of the credits. And so the adult diploma requires 2 less credits, and you're able to have credits waived if you get a certain score. Like if you score really high on the high set math portion, you would get math credits.
Well, maybe I'll look into it. I would just like to see that we could find a program or some type of way to keep them and keep those 59 students within that diploma. So.
I'm glad we had the program because it may not hurt or help us, but it's going to help those individuals who get that certificate, that diploma in the future. So I think that's the way I look at it. So I'm glad we have it.
Yeah, and I would really stress that adult ed diploma, it is also a standard diploma. So it's, in NRS, it's considered an equal degree.
Is there a fee for the classes?
No.
Any other questions or comments?
I have a question.
Rebecca?
For those students who went a little above and beyond getting that advanced or that career and college ready, are they recognized at graduation in any certain way? Do they get like a cord or rope that they wear to show that they've kind of succeeded a little further?
I think they do, right?
Yeah. There's so many chords I could get confused because there's like 20. Right.
Good. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you.
Great. If there are no other questions, thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Okay, agenda item number 10, discussion on newly proposed CCSD regulation 539, physical education exemptions for discussion only. Mr. Brandon Bringhurst.
All right, thank you. Good to be here this evening with you. This is a follow-up on the discussion we had earlier with the updates to policy 539 regarding PE or physical education exemptions. This is the regulation that accompanies that policy that we did earlier this year. You can see in the regulation, there are 2 essentially two ways that students get the PE exemption. The first method would be by participation in school-based activities such as military science, marching band, athletics, dance, or cheer. And so there's a process by which they get their PE exemption. And then the second method for that is participation in non-school activities. And the process for them to get their PE exemption for those non-school activities. Additionally, in the board packet, I included what is the PE exemption application at Carson High School that students would complete in order to qualify for that second type of exemption for the non-school activities. So that's not part of the regulation, but I wanted to have that in there as an example of what that packet looks like that the students would need to complete in order to get the exemption for non-school activities.
And that was helpful. Thank you for including that.
You're welcome.
Questions or comments?
I do. So I had emailed you my
Yeah.
question on that. Because I see no problem, and thank you for, this was extremely detailed, and I appreciate it. So I appreciate that as well. But in item number 1, where it says the sponsor of each activity will submit to the counseling office a list of students who successfully completed the season in good standing by the end of each semester. I would hope that we are actually talking about the players and just the players. They are getting that physical activity, not to discredit, every team needs managers. However, to my experience, managers did not actually partake in the physical activity of those practices and games. And I think that's where I would like to see that exemption is for those who are actually participating in the physical activity of those practices and games.
Yeah, that's correct. That's actually, we had that discussion. So I met together with multiple members of the Carson High staff in getting this exemption application together. And one of the things that we talked about on the school-based activities was whether this includes managers or not. And it does not include managers. It is only for those students who are athletes and participating. They've had that process in place at the high school and seems to be working quite well and and to your point, they specifically noted that it is just for those who finish the season in good standing, right? And so you might try out and make the team, but if you don't make it till the end of the season, you don't get that exemption.
And then I also appreciate the application itself
Mhm.
and having to be submitted by the student. Because
Mhm.
this right here takes, it's going to take the student some time, and in order to get it organized, filled out, signed by, it's not just something that a parent can call and say, hey, my kid is playing a club sport, can they get a PE exemption? So I appreciate that because the responsibility lies on the student.
It is correct, and the committee also felt it was important, if you look on the very last page, that the student engage in some reflection about things that they learned from the activity as well. So we wanted there to be some something beyond, like you said, just saying, hey, this is what I do and I'd like an exemption, where there needs to be some effort to demonstrate that they have truly participated and learned something from that participation.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So I noticed a very, very minor, not typo, but maybe a correction that we could make on page number 2 on the second statement, where it says, I understand that 60 hours of participation in a pre-professional / competitive activity is required to waive the equivalent of 0.0. So if we want to be consistent with the rest of the application, if we want to put the 0 in front
Put
of
the
it.
0 there?
Yeah,
Sure.
so 0.5.
Great, thank you.
Anybody else? No? There are no other questions or comments. We thank you so much for bringing this to us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay. Agenda item number 11, discussion on newly proposed CCSD policy 715, school program use of facilities And this is the first reading for discussion only. Superintendent Feely? Ron, no, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Thank you, President Ramirez. This evening, bringing to thoughts on a new policy. We have put it as policy number 715. I think the conversation with trustees around. I think there is a reality to this board values all of the opportunities that we can offer our kids, whatever they look like, whether they are sports, whether they are clubs, whether it's bowling, Mrs. Peterson. So around that, I think really just a general statement of that support and a desire to make sure that all of our students, whatever they are participating in, that there is an effort to make sure that they have access to the facilities that they need. And so with that, we have several policies that tend to be more kind of expectations or maybe even belief statements. And that's really where this policy falls. So the title, school program use of facilities. I'm not sure that's the best title. That's what we came up with at this point. And the language itself, very, very simple, but I think to the point and with what I believe the trustees would expect from all of our schools. The Carson City School District Board of Trustees supports equitable and responsible use of district facilities by all school-sponsored teams, clubs, and activities. Scheduling will reflect a transparent balance among programs to the greatest extent practicable, recognizing that facilities and seasons vary in their demands, giving consideration to program needs, safety, and the efficient use of resources. So again, I think it sets the expectation. I think it sets the standard for the board and the trustees as I understand it, and talking with President Ramirez, that again, the board values all of these things that we try to offer our kids. We want to make the facilities that are provided by the trustees for the school district to have equitable use amongst all of those groups, because they all have value, and we want to see our kids have good opportunities and be able to succeed at some of those adventures. So this is just a first go. Remember, policy has to come back a second time, so I would need to bring this back to you one more time before it actually became policy. But that is really everything. I'm happy to take any questions or suggestions or anything.
Well, Superintendent Feely, first off, thank you for putting this together. It's something that Trustee Walker asked us to put on the agenda. And as you said, you and I worked on or had this discussion in your office, and you put this together for us to bring to the board. And so I appreciate your work on this, and I think this is a starting point, and it's definitely a policy that we want to have all our trustees give us your input. So this is an opportunity to get. Go ahead. Let's start off with Michelle.
I have a question. So this policy specifically mentions responsible use of district facilities by school-sponsored teams. I know a lot of our teams, bowling, for example, uses facilities that are not of the district. Swimming uses the rec center. Do you know if we have a lot of off-district facility use? And is there any expectation of advocacy on our behalf to make sure that those are available? I know that's not in here, but.
Is there
Yeah,
an
so
expectation?
we have a joint use agreement with the city for some of their facilities. I think there are certainly expectations as to our students representing us well and our teams being good patrons, I guess, of those facilities. But they're ultimately not our facilities, so we don't necessarily have any specific expectation within our own policy for that. I know for bowling, they use homegrown lanes now, right? And so with that, that's I guess it's a club, and I don't know that and it's not a part of the city, so we don't have that agreement with them, but they're generous to let us use those facilities. So within this, I think it's really just reflecting our own facilities that we have, and we use. Maybe in the future, if there was ever a situation where maybe were some concerns with fair use of that sort of thing, we could
Like
get
the
into.
golf team, for example, like if there was ever an issue where the city, does the city have, is one of those the city-owned golf clubs? I don't even know, the golf courses. But like if something happened and they lost the facility that they're using, like, is there any expectation on the district's part to put an effort into securing a place for them, or is that just completely up to the sport on its own?
No, that would, I mean, that ends up being a NIAA varsity sport, and so at Carson High, the athletic administrator who sits behind me and the athletic director, I'm sure would be very involved in trying to secure another location to Mr. Wade's liking, wherever that may be. I know he's an avid golfer.
Rebecca?
Yeah, I just appreciate the part in recognizing all of the various teams, clubs, and activities that no one thing is going to trump another, that there's going to be a good balance when scheduling and just being respectful to whatever is going on. Because, yeah, football isn't over the bowling team, or soccer doesn't come before golf, or whatever it is, that there will be a good balance and communication and working together to be able to meet all students and their interests.
And I think, thank you, Trustee Roberts. I think what's important about this is it's just like, again, it's setting the expectations of the board. And as you know, we've heard scheduling is rather complex and it isn't perfect. But I think in understanding that this is, you are effectively helping make all of this happen. And so this is the expectation of how you expect it to happen for our kids. We just haven't had anything within policy that really defined that. And so it's easier to, if questions come up, that we can lean back on this, like, well, this is the expectation, so we have to figure this out in line with what this is. So I think moving forward, it's a good step to just ensure that all of our schools and our clubs and our activities understand when they're scheduling this sort of thing, that there should be consideration for how that use is distributed.
Can I recommended addition, not just facilities, but like transport vehicles? I think would be a good one in there too. I'm just reflecting back to tennis a couple years ago when we had a bus and then we didn't have a bus, and we were told we couldn't take the whole team, and kerfuffles, but it doesn't matter. But I think in addition to facilities, the transportation, like just adding that in some way, somehow. I know it can't always be.
Yeah, I
all-inclusive,
can,
but-
I do know 3 years ago when I started in this job, the transportation was just madness because we didn't have drivers for everything, and we ended up purchasing quite a few smaller vehicles to try to allow for smaller teams to be able to get transportation without needing a full bus. But I can take that back and see if that's how we would maybe fit something like that And there are still concerns that come up here and there related to transportation, so I think that's a fair concern.
And I trust that the efforts are intended to be fair. Like I said, I was just reflecting back that there was a point where the tennis team was told your whole team can't go because you can only have this little van. And so that made it hard to feel like we could compete when we could only bring 9 kids. When knowing that there were other larger sports that had multiple full-size buses, it was, again, it was a few years ago, but that was a hard one to be hit with, that the tennis kids kind of felt like, oh, I guess we don't matter as much. So.
Richard?
Yes, I support the policy, but I guess, excuse me, I assumed that we were doing this already, that we're trying to be equitable with all the clubs and et cetera. Was there something that prompted this at this time? Some issue?
What I don't think it's anything new. There's just a reality to every year. We have limited facility space, limited field space, and so trying to schedule that is really complicated. And trying to and again, every year issues seem to crop up in various ways. And so trying to just ensure that when that scheduling is happening, that it's kind of clear and understood to everyone who is impacted by it, what is happening, why the decisions are being made that there are. And again, some of the language, I think there is a reality that it's never going to be perfect, right? And defining perfect would even be difficult, because you can get into what fields you're using, the time you're using them. You know, sometimes you have practices early, practices late, games at different times. And so there wasn't necessarily one specific event, but it is something in the 3 years I've been in this role, every year things seem to come up.
Matt, any input from you? No? Molly?
Question is, what does transparent balance look like? Or if you can define that.
According to Webster's dictionary. No, I think, I mean, I know that at least for sports and the different seasons, they try to track the different sports and what they are using and how much they are using it. And I think from the standpoint of it, you know, the word equitable, you're trying to find that balance between those teams. And I think to some extent, it's going to be defined by the needs of the sport itself. I think to some extent, it's going to be defined by what the coach's desires are. And I think of back in high school when I played soccer, there were limited fields, but sometimes our coach would take us over to the tennis courts, and we would end up playing like soccer tennis sort of on the tennis courts. And so we didn't actually need our fields at that time. So I think if anything, it's making sure that everyone sees the schedules, they understand the schedules, not that everyone is going to get exactly what they want, but that it's understood that, you know, here's what we have and we all agree this is probably about as reasonably fair as we're going to get to, given the circumstances.
No, so with that, I do appreciate this coming forward, and I appreciate President Ramirez and Vice President Walker bringing this forward, because this has been a battle, in all honesty, I've been fighting for 9 years, is trying to get equitable program facility usage for particularly fall sports. I will, I mean, like I said, it's been an uphill battle. I believe I spoke in public comment 9 years ago, brought it to President Cassiopo 5 years ago, brought it to the board 2 years ago. And so this is a step forward, and I do appreciate it. I would, like I said, I just don't know how, with this and not being followed by regulations, but I do understand. I know I'm not trying to micromanage as well. I just, like I said, though, this has been an uphill battle. And every time I bring it forward, it's always going to be that yes, it will be equitable, we'll work on it, we'll hold the meetings, we'll do the planning and whatever else, and it just doesn't seem to come to fruition. So I just don't know that without the regulations that this is going to do what we hope for it to do, but I am going to trust in you that it will be done. And, I would like to have seen an accountability structure or some data reporting, scheduling of some sort as well. But this is a start, and I greatly appreciate it, and we'll go from there.
I want to check with the board. Are we good with the title, or do you guys have recommendations? School program use of facilities.
Well, and I think if we could put and transportation.
And add transportation. Okay.
Isn't transportation kind of a different ball game, though?
I mean, yeah, it's not exactly the same thing. However, I think sort of to Trustee Peterson's comment, you do have similar concerns that will crop up in looking at the different sizes of the teams, the different needs of the teams. I do know, I mean, I will get caught up in strings of emails with transportation related to, which vehicles are available or not. In transportation actually gets even, I guess similarly complicated too, because of clubs needing transportation and band needing transportation, and where can instruments be, can they fit on the bus, can they not? So there are some similar complications. I would say, and I'll get with Ryan Russell and talk through that with him, and just in terms of the like how this maybe fits inside this. No offense to Mr. Locke, who's filling in tonight, but because I'm not sure, and I don't want to cause any problems with the addition of that, but I do see some similarities that I think can at least be kind of thought through.
Yeah, I could see where we say equitable, that would go along with being equal in regards to transportation, providing transportation to all students, and be fair to everyone. So, okay.
I would say as long as we can make it fit, where it's a natural
Mm-hmm.
fit,
Yeah, okay. Well, again, this is the first reading, so we will see this come back to us. And again, Superintendent Feeling, thank you very much for putting this together and for being receptive to this request, because we want, again, we want to be fair to all of our students. We want all our students to know that all of our sports and clubs and activities are just as important. And so it is fair that we provide them with an equitable space for them to do their best. And we want our students to, continue playing sports, because we know that that by having them play sports, it's going to help them in their academics as well. So thank you. Okay, agenda item number 12, approval of consent agenda, and this is for possible action.
I move that the Carson City School District Board of Trustees approve the consent agenda as submitted.
Second.
Okay, so motion by Trustee Walk and second by Trustee Varner. Any board discussion? See none. Any public comment? See none. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Agenda item number 13, informational items, and this is for discussion only. No action will be taken. Superintendent Phelan, I do have a question on page number 3 on the, let's see, where it says Thursday, November 2025, Parent U. Is that Parent University? It says Thursday, November 20th, 2025. I just want a
Yes.
clarification on that.
Yes, that is
Okay.
correct. That's
So Parent University.
an event to help inform our parents a little bit about using Parent Square at
Knowledge.
Infinite
Parent
Campus
Square.
that we're going to be
Okay.
hosting concurrent sessions in English and Spanish.
In English and Spanish. Okay, fabulous. And that's happening on the 20th at 5 o'clock at Carson High Tech. Okay, wonderful.
The Community Connections, is there going to be a presenter?
Yeah, sorry, actually, I should have mentioned that one. So we have our Community Connections event Wednesday. We're going to be led through a lesson on literacy and everything going on with literacy in the district. We have Pam Copperthwaite and Joanna Kaiser that are going to be leading a presentation and discussion.
Thank you for that clarification. Okay. Any other questions or comments on that? Okay. Agenda item number 14, request for future agenda items.
Will we be, I know December, we have like a really, really long meeting.
Yeah.
So are we going to be doing the budget workshop in December, or are we going to hold off in January?
Thank you, Trustee Walt. That very good point. I would very much like to avoid doing one in December and just plan and I can work with President Ramirez. I know we have the first meeting in January. We could certainly do it. It's also a little bit of a different meeting just because of the reorganization of the board and all that. I don't know if that really matters. I think we could maybe still do it, but we could talk about it.
Well, we've been doing them at the last meeting, of the month.
Sure.
So if we want to do that, the last, continue that, but just not do it in November, December, and just do it in January.
Sure.
That'd be fine.
Okay.
That's perfect. Okay. And I also just noticed that Trustee Walker was not, he just texted us and told us he was not able to make it. So we will put him as absent for today's meeting. Okay. Awesome. And agenda item number 15, adjournment. Thank you so much, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Yes.